Umudiki city was alive with movement buses roaring, markets buzzing, and fashion statements on every corner. And in the middle of it all was Amaka, a woman who stood out for more than just her looks. She was the pride of Umudike, a thriving town known for its red clay soil, vibrant market days, and old traditions. From a young age, Amaka showed signs of grace and skill. Her mother, Mama Nkechi, taught her to sew with love, and by the time she turned 17, she was making clothes that made people stop and stare. Her boutique, Amaka's Touch, sat at the corner of Market Street. Brightly colored fabrics draped the entrance like waterfalls. Clients came from far and wide, not just to wear her creations, but to be seen wearing them. Her talent was unmatched, but it was her spirit that truly left an impression. She listened more than she spoke. She offered prayers for her clients, encouraged single mothers, and often slipped extra change to poor children selling ground nuts. Amaka was also a woman of deep Christian faith. Her mornings began with hymns, her evenings ended with devotionals. She was the type who cried during worship songs and whose Bible was filled with notes and highlights. Reserved and soft-spoken, she avoided the noise of social gatherings, but was a steady presence in the church community. From the moment Amaka gained attention in Umudiki for her growing fashion business and devout Christian walk, Prophet Aza and Sister Neka had quietly taken notice. They observed her from a distance, first at church events, then through whispered inquiries in the community. Sister Neka began sitting near her during services, watching the way Amaka closed her eyes during worship, noting her emotional vulnerability. They even sent people disguised as customers to her boutique to engage her in spiritual conversations and report back. Behind the scenes, Prophet Aza would pray over her name, claiming spiritual revelations about her purpose, studying her patterns to find the perfect opening. They weren't looking for a random recruit. They were targeting a chosen vessel with influence. Once they felt they had gathered enough, they initiated their strategy. The plan was to isolate and then indoctrinate. Prophet Aza crafted divine revelations that touched Amaka's personal pain points, her father's death, her mother's illness, her dreams of significance. Sister Neka played the friendly spiritual guide, gently drawing her into secret prayer meetings that felt deeper, more anointed than the average church service. The teachings were designed to confuse her, using twisted scriptures to blur the line between devotion and control. Slowly, they chipped away at her confidence, making her believe that her talents and family were spiritual distractions, and that only absolute obedience to the prophet could unlock her true destiny. Then came the whisper. It started after a church crusade when a soft-spoken woman named Sister Neka approached her. Her eyes were intense, her smile slow. "Amaka, the Lord revealed something to me about your destiny. There's a ministry that operates beyond the surface. They see what others cannot. Would you like to come?" Amaka smiled politely. She had heard things like this before. She declined, but Sister Neka returned again and again, and this time she brought a man. He was called Prophet Aza, tall, dark, with a sharp gaze that seemed to read your soul. He didn't speak like other preachers. He didn't shout or sweat. He whispered. He prophesied. He told her about her past, details she hadn't shared with anyone, her father's sudden death, the illness her mother battled in silence, her dreams of designing for royalty. "You are not ordinary," he said, eyes glowing. "You are chosen, but the devil has wrapped you in distractions, fashion, family, emotions. These are chains. If you want to ascend, you must cut them off." Amaka was shaken. How did he know? Maybe, just maybe, he was right. He invited her to private teachings. He and a small group gathered in a compound behind a warehouse on the outskirts of town. They sang strange songs, they fasted, they prayed in tongues that chilled the spine. Slowly, they rewrote her world. She began to question her family. "They don't understand your calling," they said. Her boutique. "It glorifies the flesh." Her donations to the church? Misplaced seeds. They showed her scriptures, twisted interpretations that painted isolation as holiness, sacrifice as salvation, obedience to the prophet as obedience to God. At first, she resisted, but guilt crept in. She started missing church, then family dinners. Then she sold her boutique, explaining vaguely that God had called her higher. Her mother wept, her siblings begged, but Amaka's eyes were distant, her voice soft but firm. "This world is passing away. I must prepare for the eternal." She gave everything to Prophet Azza, her savings, her boutique, even her late mother's land in Enugu, and then she disappeared. Word spread that she had followed the group to a remote village near the border. They called it the Camp of Light, but there was no light. The camp was a cleared-out forest compound surrounded by barbed wire and wooden fences. Inside, people wore identical white garments. They were forbidden to speak unless spoken to. Every morning began with fasting and digging trenches. Every evening ended with long sessions of shouting prayers. If anyone questioned the prophet, they were starved. Amaka, now gaunt and frail, was given the role of sewing white robes for the members. But even this, her passion, became a curse. She was punished if the sleeves were too short or if her hands moved too slowly. She had no contact with the outside world, no phone, no letters, only scriptures, edited, controlled, repeated until her mind blurred truth with fear. Her brother Chibuzo was furious. The family tried everything, contacted police, church elders, even traditional leaders. But no one could touch the camp. It was protected, hidden. Then one day, a miracle. A woman escaped. Her name was Ifeoma, a former teacher who had joined the group 2 years earlier. She fled during a storm, slipping through a gap in the fence. She returned to Umudike, weak, barefoot, and trembling. Her story was chilling: forced labor, humiliation, manipulation, starvation. Chibuzo listened, his fists clenched. "We're getting my sister back." A sting operation was planned. With the help of Ifeoma, the authorities, and some brave local hunters, they stormed the Camp of Light one early dawn. The gates were broken down, screams echoed. Some members resisted, others cried in relief. In the back hut, under dim candlelight, they found Amaka, kneeling, sewing, a tear slipping down her cheek. She didn't scream, she didn't run, she simply looked up, and for a moment, recognition flashed in her eyes. She was taken home. her body weak, her spirit shattered. But healing began. It was slow. Some days she stared out the window for hours. Other days she wept uncontrollably. Her family bathed her, prayed for her, read psalms by her bedside. Therapists came, pastors visited. The pastor reminded her, "No true man of God will separate you from your loved ones or ask you to sell all your possessions." Slowly, the pieces returned. Her smile, her voice, her hands, trembling but still skilled. Months later, she stepped into her old boutique. It was dusty, but still hers. She cleaned, repaired, began to sew again, not clothes for the rich, but simple dresses for schoolgirls and widows. Then she began to speak. She told her story in churches, on community radio, at youth gatherings. Her voice cracked, but her eyes were strong. "I was blinded by the wrong light," she said. "I thought I was serving God, but I was worshiping fear." She warned others, especially women, about spiritual manipulation. She taught them to know the word for themselves, to test every spirit, to guard their minds. Her story saved lives. She started a foundation, the Veil Initiative, to help other survivors of religious abuse and cult escapees. She gave them counseling, shelter, and above all, hope. And though her scars remained, they became her strength. After 3 months, Prophet Asa and Sister Neka were charged and brought to court. Both stood in faded prison uniforms, their faces sunken and full of regret. No more prophetic tones, no whispers of vision, just silence. The court found them guilty of fraud, psychological abuse, and unlawful detention. They were sentenced to 10 years in prison. In the town of Umudike, her name now means more than beauty or fashion. It means resilience. It means truth. It means light, real light. Amaka's story is a reminder that not all who claim to speak for God are sent by Him. Manipulation can wear the face of religion, and abuse can hide behind robes of holiness. But light always finds a way to shine through the veil. Let us learn to question, to seek truth, and to protect those who are vulnerable. Because true faith never isolates, it uplifts. Please, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.